Like if I was an Uber Eats driver delivering my sushi to people, I would definitely do it on this bike. It would be a good time. I've got an interesting one for you. This is the real Enfield Himalayan SCRAM 411. I find it a really interesting bike because it looks awesome, but it's really small, has obviously a tiny little motor, doesn't make a lot of power, but I feel like it's just going to be something that's really fun to ride, like same kind of fun as like a Honda Grom or something like that. Hopefully that's the case. I've never ridden one of these before, just quickly ridden it down to this dead-end street, looking over the harbour bridge. We'll take it out for a little spin. Styling wise, I love it. I reckon it's awesome. A fun little thing you could like tuck off to the shops on it. But yeah, I'll chuck the specs up on the screen for you guys. We'll get some riding position first thoughts and you know, the power or lack thereof, and test the brakes out, take it for a ride. It's cool, it's got like a black chain. I like the wheels. It's obviously an oil cooled bike, it's not water cooled at all, so I'm not expecting it to make a lot of power. Retail, these are selling for like $8,300, which may be a little bit much, but so I think obviously people that are looking at this bike would either be someone like myself, like an experienced rider who just wants something fun to like duck around to the shops on, something like that, or a first time beginner who's never ridden a motorcycle before and wants a LAMS approved bike but doesn't want to, you know, doesn't want the typical kind of look and maybe wants something with a little bit of style. Yeah, anyway, let's stop jabbering on about it and let's get riding. I don't think you're going to be able to hear much, but we'll start it. Oh, that's cool. I don't know what that is. That looks like some kind of, maybe you can connect your phone to that. They have like navigation or something. First start time. It's not going well. Well, it starts. Nice. You can quite easily stand on it. I'm 6'1". I can stand on it really easily. It's not the most comfortable thing to stand up on, but you know, it's alright for like adventuring around on gravel, I guess. One thing I notice is you immediately feel, I feel like I'm going a lot faster than I am. Maybe not a lot faster, but it just, when I'm, you know, the Aprilia and my Harley are kind of opposite. You like feel like you're going a lot slower than you are, so you know, maybe it's because it's small. We won't open it up yet because we don't want to sort of just take off into oblivion and get ourselves into trouble. The brakes aren't great. It has one single disc brake up the front. I mean, it stops, but you're not going to be stopping in a huge hurry. It does have ABS. I'm not sure if they all come with ABS, but in New Zealand now, all bikes imported into the country from last November, I think, have to have ABS to be road registered. So I don't think New Zealand's going to be importing any bikes that don't have ABS from now on. Controls are fine. They feel kind of, you know, they feel cheap, but not too cheap. It feels similar feeling to like a DRZ 400 or something. It's definitely fun. I feel like I'm on like, I don't know, like I said, like a big Honda Grom. Now I've never actually ridden a Honda Grom, so don't take my opinion too seriously on that. But yeah, this feels great for like if I was an Uber Eats driver delivering my sushi to people, I would definitely do it on this bike. It would be a good time. The clutch is pretty light, one finger job, maybe. I think most people be like a two finger probably, learners. I don't know what this thing is, but I believe it's like a navigation thing. I haven't done any research on this bike, so this is literally first impressions from someone that hasn't done any research on this bike. Yeah, I think this is like one of those point navigation things, so it doesn't actually give you directions, but it tells you kind of where you're going. Let's get this thing out in the motorway and see how it feels. I'm thinking it's not going to be fantastic, but we'll see. Riding position is, I'm 6'1". I can get both feet down on the ground, flat foot, with a pretty decent bend in my legs. So I think, you know, you could be pretty short and have this bike and not have any problems. The seat, I feel a little bit cramped up, like, you know, my foot to bum ratio. I don't know, I think the seat is just a bit low for me. But like I said, it's a small bike and I'm 6'1", so what do you want? There's not a lot. That's full throttle and fourth. There's not a lot going on. Alright, let's get the big sweeper going. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I don't know how scrubbed in these tyres are, so we'll be a little bit careful. Right, let's go second, and let's pin it. Oh yeah. That's full throttle. So, oh, it's 5-speed, not 6-speed. Not that it needs it. So it's not fast. It's not a fast bike. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. Oh, the brakes are not great. Surprisingly, it feels pretty stable. Let's try and get up to 100. Okay, here we go. We're going to 100k an hour. I'm not going to get in that lane because I don't think I can accelerate fast enough to get away from that car. Safe riding, everybody. Full throttle and 100. So it cruises fine. It feels plenty stable. I'm not getting any vibrations through the bars or anything, which is cool. It's a lot better on the motorway than I thought it would. I mean, it's lacking a lot of power, but you know, if you're like commuting from like North Shore over the bridge into the city for work, totally fine. Wind isn't too bad. I mean, it's a very windy day today, and you know, it's fine. I think because it has a fair bit of weight, being an oil-cooled fat motor that's slowed down, it seems like it's fine, but you're not going to win any races on it. This is fun. You can even quite easily stand up on the motorway. Oh yeah, this is the perfect Uber Eats delivery racer, and it looks cool. You know, it looks awesome. I think I'd rather be on this on the motorway than a Gixxer 250. But will I pay an extra $3,000? Oh yeah. I don't even know if I can get to Redline. That's full throttle and fourth, and I'm not gaining speed up this. Oh, kinda, there you go. Full throttle, yeah. Okay, most of the little like sporty 250 like Kawasaki and Suzuki and that are like 5,000 brand new. Let's get through this traffic. Back brakes are a bit squeaky. Oh yeah. The other thing is, you know, because this is kind of a scrambler, you're not really looking for a lot of power. When you like off-road, you don't really need a lot of power. This has plenty for like adventuring around back roads and stuff like that. Obviously a little bit more would be better. You know, this has a 400, you know, I think what, it must be 411cc, I guess, and you know, the DRZ 400 is obviously about the same, and that has a lot more power than this bike. Comparing this to a DRZ 400 is not fair because they're just totally different. Much higher performance engine on the DRZ 400, even though that's not like I wouldn't class it as a fast bike, but it's a quick little bike. I think I would rather have a DRZ 400 than this bike, but then really you're just getting, you know, you're getting a dirt bike with number plates. First gear is really low, so that'd be good for off-road. Mirrors are alright. Kind of have to move my shoulder a little bit, but you know, I think if you were like 5 foot something, this bike would be mean. That's the other thing, I am quite heavy. I'm like 95 kilos. You know, on a bike that has little power, extra weight, you're going to notice a lot more. Like, you know, a 95 kilo rider versus a 75 kilo rider on my Aprilia, which has like, I don't know, 190 horsepower now after the tune and everything. You're not going to notice that anywhere near as much. Whereas, you know, if you were to drop like 30 kilos or 20 kilos under this bike, you're really going to notice it. So if you're a, you know, a much smaller, lighter rider, I think you'd be loving it, like this guy. Going for gold on a scooter. Yeah, I reckon this bike would suit, like I said, someone from, you know, around 70, 75 kilos, 5'8", maybe 510. You know, obviously probably the smaller the better, but it's still a little bit of a Yui actually. I don't even know if that's illegal, but we're going to do it. It's getting a lot of looks. People are quite interested in it. The seat is quite spongy. I could ride it for quite a while, but I think because my legs are a bit longer, I would get sore knees after a while. Oh, it's super fun. So obviously I can't say too much about the reliability because, you know, I'm just demoing this. It's just a first ride. Obviously Royal Enfields aren't like the most premium bike. 2 of my friends have Interceptors and they've not had one single problem with them. That's only 2 in how many thousands of people who own these bikes. They haven't had any issues with them. I think overall they're pretty good. You know, they're not going to be like a Suzuki or a Honda or whatever in terms of reliability, but it's fine. The build quality feels alright. It feels good enough. Like I said, I think the only thing is the price at $8,000. It's possibly a little bit too much. If it was like 6.5, I think it would fly out the door. Yeah, 6.5 grand. I think you've got yourself a cool style bike that's great for beginners. I think it's a fantastic bike for beginners, but it's just, I think it's a little bit too expensive, you know. It's great for this kind of stuff. Oh. Which way do we go? Heaps of traffic. I don't know where that's coming from. Gotta watch out for trucks sitting this close to them. They often can't see you. So you want to get in a place where they can see you. Or do the on-ramp test. I think this is becoming a thing, the on-ramp test. I don't even know if I'm going to gather speed going on this one because it's like an uphill. People are in such a rush in Auckland. All the time. It's chaos. You got to be super careful riding bikes around Auckland. I was in America like 3 months ago and we went through Arizona, California, Utah, Nevada, and I swear I had less bad drivers on that entire trip than I did in a day driving around Auckland. I'm pretty excited for this. Full throttle. I'm dragging a Tesla. Oh, it's fast. We're nearly at 100. And we're at 100. She's a beauty. Anyway, we'll get off the motorway and we will do a little walk around and then take it back to the shop. Experienced Motorcycles, as you've seen to them. Thanks to the guys for letting me take it out. Super fun bike. Wasted the Tesla on the on-ramp. It'll look cool with some crash bars, I reckon. Skip to the front of the line. It probably sounded right with an exhaust. You get a bit of induction sound, a little bit of that thumper sound to it. Really easy to maneuver around traffic. One thing I forgot to touch on was suspension. I didn't say anything about that. So just quickly, the suspension's soft. It's not really hard or anything. It's comfortable, does the job. I wouldn't be doing any jumps on it or anything like that off-road. I'm sure you could, but you would have to have balls of steel. Yeah, I think any main criticisms I would have would be the brakes and the price. Awesome, indicators on. So there you have it, guys. Royal Enfield SCRAM 411 first ride. I like it. It's small, but it doesn't look that small when you're not on it. Put a pipe on it, some crash bars. You could probably open it up a little bit, but I think the problem is I'm a bit too heavy for it. Yeah, overall thoughts, I really like it, but I think for $8,300, I think it's a little bit too expensive for what it is. That's just my opinion. I think if you were to spend $8,300 on this, I don't think you would be like super disappointed. You know, it's not like a rip-off. I guess the only other thing is you can't really get another Scrambler. You can't really get this look with something, you know, around the same price, I don't think. Could do with a brake upgrade. I mean, you're not going to spend a lot of money on one of these. Maybe an LED headlight for night riding, that'd be cool. But yeah, I really like it. I guess, like I said, the only thing is the price. It could possibly be a little bit too expensive for what it is. If you want to spend the money, I think it's a great bike. That's just my first impressions of it. I'm going to get it back to the dealer now. I like it. It's just the price. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Is it too expensive for what it is? Let me know what you would buy if it wasn't this. If you had $8,300 to spend, would you buy this or would you buy something else? Let me know in the comments. For now, hit subscribe, give me a like, unless you didn't like this video. Oh, that's amazing turning circle. Holy shit.